All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 5 of Web Design Analysis with Chris. Chris likes design, Chris likes code. I'm not going to lie, this is the second time I'm recording this video today because the first one didn't have audio. But now I know what to look for on this site because there's some cool elements, so we can just go to them. But today we're going to take a look at ronosit.com. They're a software company, and they have some really, really cool elements going on. So let's take a look. So first thing off the rip is on their homepage. This is the hero. You can see the obvious thing is this blue dot that follows your cursor around. That's basically just a div that has some JavaScript attached to it to show. See if I can get it. Maybe I gotta get it down here. I think you can see it at the top. Yeah, so you see this little div right here that's animating this left top. It's just basically a div that follows around your cursor's position, and it's just a little blue dot. And now what's cool is if you look at it over here, like when it hovers over certain elements, you kind of get this it like fades into it, which is really, really cool. Now the one downside to having cursors like this is they can get heavy, meaning they can add a lot of load of like JavaScript, and it can slow down things if the cursor is too animated. I wonder if they still have the cursor going, because I produced a cursor. So I produced this cursor for this agency. This is an agency I used to work out called Damn Good Agency. But you see how it has like this, it's like a cursor and it has like this trailing, which I think is really, really cool. It's basically exactly what that other one is, except for you see all those little dots. Those are many, many divs that are all exponentially like sized down using like just basically math and JavaScript and logic to like follow this and a little bit of physics and stuff. I think that's pretty cool still. But yeah, so they have a really cool cursor. They also have these really cool elements like these when you hover over these borders, how they animate really cool, which I think is pretty sick. It's very subtle, but it's nice, and it's when you hover over the words. I think you can click on them too. I actually haven't tried. Yeah, so you could, which I actually haven't tried to do. So those are their main call to actions. If you click development, it actually wasn't obvious to me that those were clickable. I mean, I think an average user might click them. I was just playing with the animations. But yeah, another cool thing that they have on this bottom right is just like a little animated line and dot that basically reminds you to scroll, right? Like saying there's more, just keep scrolling. Instead of like a down arrow, they have this nice little animation, which I think is nice. And then they also have this video. So when you click on it, watch what happens. Boom. It opens, but it doesn't just open into a player. It auto plays, and it's really, really fast, which means it must be preloaded. And obviously they have this like nice circle animation going on here. I'm assuming that's probably just a GIF that just keeps repeating, or it's a literal video. And then the borders animate. So you see how they like go from round to sharp. Wow, one more time. Wow, it's really cool. And that could just be a CSS transition. So that's pick. And then also you can tell. So this is their invisible. They have a light and dark mode. Shield yourself. Sorry. Which I love to see. I'm always in dark mode though. They have an icon up here, so when you scroll, look at that little whoosh, whoosh, it kind of rolls itself into the logo. Actually, it rolls itself into the period at the end, so that dot. Zoom, 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 which is really, really cool. And then the header, you can see, has like this nice, it's like invisible. When you start scrolling, it's very seamless, that transition. It gets sticky, and then it becomes this glass Gaussian blur type energy. And you can see down here in the CSS, you can just turn that off, right? And now it's just glass, like no blur, pure blur, and it's just a background filter. And you can add a bunch of blur, low blur. You could also, if you had like, let's say your website was like had a blue or something, you could tint it with a blur. You know, you could have a blue tinted or like a red tinted. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff you can do with that, which I think is really, really cool. Sorry, I made it red. It's going to be red now. Beyond that, guys, the rest of their site is just very clean and sleek. You can see like on these buttons, they have a bit of a wiggle on them when you move. And that's just a little bit of custom JavaScript too. And then the way that they animate in from where you touch it, you know, and that goes into that cursor again. It makes like, looks like the cursor is like possessing. It's like, which is really, really cool. Cool design elements. Things from here just kind of like float in very nicely, really clean animations. Oh yeah, this section, obviously there's a button there, but these things are like blocking it. I think this section is supposed to be a 2D canvas. So there's this JavaScript library that lets you put in 2D objects like circles, squares, triangles, and give them physics. So you could actually like drag them around and they'll fall on each other and roll around, and you could bound them inside of like their own little box, and they have physics. I think that's what this is supposed to be. I just don't think it's working for some reason. And you could check the console. I bet I could check the console and see, but yeah, it shouldn't be blocking the button like that, I don't think. But that's fine. And then there's a lot of space here, but then these transitions are really smooth. So, and then you can see like a 2-column fixed, and a lot of this stuff is very custom stuff. When you have fixed items like this, it takes a lot of fine tuning to get it right on every single screen size, you know. And you can see again, now the left is columns fixed, and it's even different column size, right? Like this is the left column, but now this is the left column. Now this is like a break, and now it's a left column. So getting that to stick where it needs to stick, and then getting those to scroll, and then end scroll, that last piece to end scroll at the right time is also tricky. I wouldn't say tricky, but it takes fine tuning. Again, they got some reviews, these nice little boom, 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 booms. I don't really love their FAQ section, I'm not gonna lie. I think like it's too much text to be dropping down this narrow. I think maybe just one per line would be much better. I'm not gonna lie, instead of 2 columns. I love the animation on it though, but I think maybe just like across, just because like that's a lot of text. Like this is a lot of text to just be like, you know what I mean? Then get in touch. That's it. And beyond that, I mean, everything else was really just clean. Oh, there's one other thing, is these checkboxes. So if you look at these checkboxes on their form, if you click it, watch, it goes, ooh, it has like that nice animation. So I was like wondering, like, how do they do that, right? Well, if you look at it, you can actually see that they're actually hiding the real checkbox. So if I uncheck that, so you see now, so I unhit it. So this little guy is actually the real checkbox. So when you click it, it'll actually check the fake checkbox. Or if you click the fake checkbox, it'll check the real checkbox. And I don't want to say fake, but it's just, you can't really edit these checkboxes on forms really well. So that's why I was wondering how they got this like cool looking one, because you can't really do that. And they're kind of like hijacking it low key. So they're like, so as you click this, the new one, so then you can create a custom one, which is really cool. And I might be stealing that later. But yeah, I think that's literally it. Those were the cool elements that I found. It's a really cool site, really sleek, really, let's look at their privacy policy. Go back. Really sleek, really clean. 10 out of 10. Well, 9 out of 10, because they had that thing in the front page, but that's fine. Yeah, all right, guys. Well, that's episode 5. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you want me to look at a specific website, let me know and I'll take a look. Until then, have a nice day. Peace.